Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, this morning, it's beautiful so far, but this is our big warm-up day. Mid-70s, I think, is what they're predicting. But then another cool down, a cold front's coming through. I mean, it's not going to be bad, but it'll get down into kind of the normal temperatures. For the rest of the week, probably 50s during the day kind of thing. But hey, if it wants to be in the mid-70s today, by all means, we'll welcome it. Speaking of welcoming, a cheesy segue, I get it, but I've been saying it, and so has others, about economic problems and potential recession and market collapse, or at least big heavy crash. It's possible we're starting to see that. Now, I'm not saying for certain what we're seeing is that. Maybe it's kind of leading up to it. If you know anything about the markets, you know a lot of times the big collapse, the big crash is actually preceded by maybe one kind of dip down, and then it'll build back up, and then, like it's got to build up momentum. It's got to go down and then come back up and then boom, down. So it's possible. But over the weekend, a lot of money's been lost in the market. About $2.5 billion in the cryptocurrencies have been lost, and then lots and lots of money in the stock market. A lot of it is just the worry with all these tariffs, the trade wars going on. But now gold has done amazing. Gold is set a new record high over the weekend. And a lot of people, it's so strange, because myself and many others have said this in the past. People realize in tough times or in scary times when things are uncertain that maybe gold and silver are the better places to put your wealth. And so it does seem like what people are doing right now. There are protests popping up around the country in some major cities like Dallas and LA. These are anti-immigrant deportation, I don't know, something like that, protests. I don't worry about what they call them. They're just people protesting. As of right now, it does not appear that they're too violent or anything. They do appear to be protests. There was some video in LA where police were all lined up and they were going to move in to try to shut it down, and then for some reason they just up and left. The word that I saw is that they were given a stand down order, but I don't know that 100%. But this could continue to build. I read it yesterday, I think, that Border Patrol and ICE, has identified at least 300,000 illegal Venezuelans that they're going to start tracking and tell them to leave, or round them up and make them leave. So as we start seeing more deportations and especially big number deportations, which we really haven't seen yet, but if we start seeing the big number ones, and the big hype and talk about it, then yeah, we could start to see more of these, protests and riots. So that's all part of the things that could happen. The relationship, and this one, I'm probably going to get some people that disagree with me on this, or don't like what I'm going to say, even though I'm not 100% what I'm going to say yet. The relationship between the United States and Canada seems to be kind of falling apart, and that there's a great divide now building between us, in large part because of these tariffs. And there's been some hateful things said back and forth across the border. And what was once, whether you want to really like it or not, they were our closest ally. I mean, I don't want to sit here and build Canada up and talk great about her or anything, but they were kind of like our little brother or little sister kind of thing. We didn't always like each other or like what each other did, but we always kind of had each other's back. We could talk bad about Canada, but no one else could, kind of thing. And they're very American. You can go to Canada and it's not too drastically different of a culture. Um, and now all of a sudden, well, a lot of things are changing. Canadians are um, willingly not buying a lot of American products, along with the tariffs that's being put on to American products coming into Canada. Americans, a lot of them are really starting to act like Canada's the enemy and that they're okay with tariffs on Canadian things, that they don't want to buy Canadian stuff anyways, and that we don't need them, they don't need us. It's all this back and forth. And I think probably a big portion of it is it's a big play that's been acted out. It's a big show. But I also, kind of wonder why tick the Canadians off? I mean, why? Uh, have they done a good job of keeping people from coming into this country through their border? Probably not, or drugs or other things like that. But that's just commonplace in most borders. It just seems to me that there's a lot bigger fish to fry than to pick a big fight with Canada. But it's happening. I tend to believe still that there's a distraction going on with this. Like, where did this come from? Um, you know, Days before Trump took office, no one, there's no conservative out there. There's no MAGA person out there that even just days before Trump took office was, you know, hating on Canada. Before the election, go back to November before the election. Um, there was no one that had Canada in their crosshairs, but now it is. And I suspect that there's definitely some distractions going on because of this. But I think one of the bigger things that some people don't want to talk about it, I think, because they might have to admit that they were wrong. But have you paid much attention to the Robert Kennedy Jr. RFK Senate hearings, his confirmation hearings and stuff? More and more stuff is coming out. And I said from the beginning, I told people in my own circle, my wife and others, when he kind of got on board, he was going to be part of the campaign and have a position in the Trump administration. I said, I don't trust him. I don't trust a Kennedy, and I don't trust him because, um, you know, there's a lot of spots that I don't think have changed with him. And if you go far enough back, you can see that he's not anti-vaccine or anything like that. He just wanted things to be done differently. And in fact, he's come out saying that, he would support the CDC's, recommended, list of Pokes for kids and stuff like that. And then also it came out that he has big investments in mRNA technology. So this is the guy that's going to be in charge of HHS. Yeah, he seems to be good in other ways. Oh, we don't like seed oils. Oh, we want to eat healthy. We want to exercise, all this kind of stuff. And those things are important because a lot of the food, the vast majority of food in the United States is completely contaminated with junk. In fact, it's not even food. It's food-like products. And they make you unhealthy, They make you unhealthy. They can cause a lot of health problems that make you more dependent upon the pharmaceutical industries. So yes, I see that. But for me, there's a difference between, eating food products that, have bad ingredients or non-food ingredients that are, making you sick versus a genetically altering substance, like artificially intelligent designed and robotically made and gene altering substance that's being put into someone's body. That's to me, that's on a very different level. And this guy is supporting it. And so you know, I've been talking about the possibility, and others have alluded that they think it could happen too, of another pandemic during the Trump administration. And I've seen many people in my own comments say, yeah, well, if it does happen, it won't happen the same way as it did last time, because we got Trump in and we got all these people in his, you know, office that are anti the pokey poke. They're not going to stand for that. Well, actually, the vast majority of them in his administration have come out in the past supporting it, telling people to go get it. And then now we've got, excuse me, now we've got Robert Kennedy saying that he supports the and will recommend and enforce the CDC's recommended pokey pokes. So yeah, that's what you got for you, folks. So if we get another pandemic, I think it'd be foolish to think that it's going to be that drastically different. He also said that he was also praising, not just said, but he was praising Operation Warp Speed. And it's amazing now. I see comments from people, these conservative Trump supporting MAGA people are also making excuses, saying that, oh, well, you know, we Trump had to do Operation Warp Speed. You know, it was necessary to prevent the deep state from coming in and locking everybody up and throwing away the key and doing really bad things. You know, we had to have some collateral damage with Operation Warp Speed to save the greater group and the greater cause. Okay, whatever. Point is, folks, is that it's not getting any better. It's going to get worse before it gets worse. And you better be getting yourselves prepared in every way possible, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.